Greetings, YouTube model train people. In this video, I will be building not one, but two Athearn Blue Box kits. So here, I'll show you here are the part numbers on them. Let's go with, I don't know, this one to start with. So we have here the shell. Seems to be in good condition. The top walkway, the underframe, the floor, and a couple bags of parts. Metal weight, and directions. All right, well, let's get started here. I'll open up the in the first bag we've got trucks, old couplers. I won't be using these. Looks like a brake wheel. It needs a little bit of flashing removed. All right, so let's see what's in this next little bag. All right, so we've got some more, looks like brake details, the metal parts. Like this is like an antenna. This is like a marker light deal. Okay, and we've even got some little tiny jewels to go in there. Well, I'm going to start by assembling the underframe here. So these wheels I would normally change out with metal wheels. Unfortunately, I do not have any right now, so that will have to wait until later. The plastic wheels will cause a lot of build up on your tracks, so I strongly recommend not using the plastic wheels. And all right, so the coupler just goes in here like that, and then the steel snaps on. I like to use a little bit of graphite in the coupler pockets as well. I'm not sure what's going on with this one. It doesn't want to move freely. Yeah, that's not going to be any good. Let's see if we can figure out what's going on here. Here's the problem. These things are kind of rusted. See if I can get that close up to the camera, if you can see. I think the rust is keeping it from moving smoothly. I'm going to have to address that here real quick with the file. Okay, so I've got the worst of the rust here cleaned up on these. We'll see if that makes a difference. Oh, there's also some plastic flashing on here that may be causing issues. There we go. The coupler needs to move freely back and forth, otherwise it'll have derailment issues. So same thing with the other side. Perfect. Okay. So then the trucks go on here like this. This seems to have a little issue with the hole doesn't go all the way through. Whoops. Okay, we'll have to fix that. Okay, so the trucks are going to go in here like that. And floor. All right, so when tightening these screws, I tend to tighten them up all the way to make sure everything fits together like it's supposed to, and then back it off a little bit so the truck will rotate freely. That doesn't turn super easy. Yeah, the flanges of the wheel are hitting right here. Weird, I had to trim away a little bit of the material off this brace here, so that still isn't quite. Let me get a little bit more. There we go. Huh. Sure what the deal is with that. Alright, so I think I'm going to put the end detail, well, I'll put the metal weight on next. Yeah, I might as well put the metal weight on. That's what, it doesn't show it on the directions here, but that's what these other two screws are for. Okay, so I've got the bottom part dialed in. Couplers are good. Truck's working. Perfect. Now, next I think I'm going to put the these brake wheel details on. So, okay, so these just go together like that. They probably don't need to be glued. And then goes in position just like that. And once again, that's a press fit, probably doesn't need to be glued. Okay, so next up, I'm going to do these handrails. Now these, I'm going to say need to be painted. I think a paint pen's going to be the simplest, fastest way to deal with this. Yeah, I'm actually going to go outside and do this. This smells really bad. Okay, so I'm back and I've got these painted. And those just fit in to these holes. So I think actually this brake wheel thing goes on the outside of that. Yeah, like that. Sorry about that. Led you astray a little bit there. Yeah, so handrails on first and then the brake wheel. There, just like that. So onto the shell. This kit does not come with windows for this, and I think it looks kind of bad without. I know there are laser cut windows that you can get for this that fit perfectly in there. Unfortunately, I do not have those. So I'm going to try something else. So what I'm going to be using are transparencies here. I use these all the time for windows in my buildings. All right, so I'm going to cut out, let's see. So I'm just going to cut out some strips here that can, that's probably a little bit. And so I'm going to glue those on the inside using white glue. Okay, so there you can see I've gotten a few of them done. Yeah, they're not, the windows aren't flush mount out here like they should be, but that's the best I can do, and it still looks better than just having it open. So I'm going to go ahead and just fill in the rest of the windows here. Okay, so the best way I found to get this done is I took a piece of wire, dabbed a little bit of white glue on the end of it, and just dropped a little bit of white glue in here. And then I'm taking these little windows that I have cut out and then just carefully get that on the camera, setting them in place as such. Okay, so I've got everything done except for these windows here. That's going to be a little more tricky, but still shouldn't be too rough. I've just got to cut these, a little closer to size. Okay, so there I've got all the windows in place. That didn't take too long. I think it definitely is worthwhile. So now I'll continue on with the shell onto the top of this. There's just 2 snaps on either end, here and here. Fit down in. And next, I'm going to put these ladders on. Now, I think the ladders, you normally put the top in first and then bend this down. Actually, I'm going to bend that a little bit first. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I fouled up here. Rewind all that. Take these out. This has got to go on first. Sorry about that. Okay, so the walkway goes on the roof, and then the ladders go on. Same on the other side. Okay. So now onto the roof details. So we've got a chimney here. So this is the hole for the chimney here. I'm just not sure which way it goes. And the one in the directions is a little different. I don't know if it goes this way or this way. Oh, there's 2 chimneys. I think this is the one we're using. Never mind. Okay, so the chimney's installed as such. And now we've got some other detail parts. We've got this antenna, this guy, and another little light thing here. So it looks like... which one goes where? Looks like the antenna goes on this side. Now, this is like a cast metal part that, wow, that could really be... I'm going to do a little filing on this. I don't know how well you can see, but the casting isn't very good. Okay. And then these little feet need to be trimmed apart. Okay, so I've got the antenna mounted on here. I will end up painting that. I'm just not sure what color to make it. Black, maybe? I don't know. I'll see if I can find some reference photos and decide what. Yeah, I'm not going to glue that on until I decide. I did have to open up these holes a little bit to make it fit in here. There. So that will probably need to be glued in place, but I think I'm going to paint it first. Now, on to this guy here, which is a like a light that goes right there. So once again, the feet need to be separated. And the mounting holes need to be enlarged for that to work. So that mounts on there about like that. And then it's got these tiny little lenses that need to be fit in here. So I think to do that, we're going to maybe use white glue again. Yeah, white glue is just blob a little white glue in each of these. And then to pick up these tiny little jewels, I'm going to use a micro brush that's slightly wet. And that way I can pick this up and hopefully fit in the correct spot like that. All right, so let's see if I can zoom in and show that. We've got green lenses on one side and red on the other. And I'm going to use a little bit of super glue to get that mounted in there better. I got a little bit too much glue on that spot. That wasn't good. I might be able to scrape that off later after it dries. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and glue this guy on as well while I'm at it. I'm pretty happy with the results of that. There were 2 extra parts in here, an extra chimney and an extra brake wheel. I'm not sure what's up with that. So for the next one, I believe it's going to be exactly the same. We've got a shell. This time only 1 bag of goodies. The roofway, walkway, frame, floor. Oh, is there a weight? Oh, I thought there was no weight at first, but there is, yeah, no weight. And directions. Slightly, no, exact same directions as last time. Curious though, this time there's just 1 bag of stuff. I hope I got everything. If I'm missing stuff, I won't be happy. Looks like everything's here. This time, the little jewel deals are in their own separate bag. That's kind of nice. And these are not all rusty. They're in much better shape. That makes me happy. Well, it looks like the exactly the same stuff. 4 screws, 2 couplers I won't be using. And, yep, all the same stuff. Well, let's repeat again. Once again, these holes need to be cleaned up a little bit. There's just, if you can see in there, there's just flashing in the, from when it was molded. So these screws are a little different. There's one that's longer than the other one. I think you want to use the longer screw to hold the trucks on and the shorter screw to hold the weight on. Yeah, there's only one way this can go on. If you try and put it on backwards, this brake part here will not, I think this is the battery box right here. And so yeah, you've got it. There's only one way this works, like this. Okay, so with the trucks, I like to leave one fairly tight so it can't really wobble, and one a little looser so it can wobble back and forth. And seems like it's a little bowed there. Well, that'll be solved once this is on. Yeah, it's definitely got a bow to it, but I guess once this is on, that'll solve that'll fix it. Yeah, you can see how bowed that is. What the deal is with that? Yeah, that is crazy. Is that showing up on camera? I mean, there's nothing you can do any differently. I guess with the metal on there, it straightened it out. So whatever, it'll be fine. Now for the couplers, I'm gonna have to go find some. Okay, so I'm using these plastic couplers. Normally I wouldn't use those, but I am all out of good couplers, and it's a caboose. It's not that big of a deal. And unless you're having your caboose in the middle of the train, plastic couplers are probably okay. They're not going to break. You're not going to. It's at the end of the train, so there isn't going to be that much strain on the couplers, so it'll probably be okay. And once again, a little bit of graphite. Ow, that was way too much. Okay, there we go. Coupler's done. So the handrails are next. Once again, I'm going to go outside and paint these. Yeah. Okay, so I painted these handrails. You can see. And while I was at it, I also painted the details here on the car. Okay, so then the brake wheels are next up. Okay, so the brake wheel just presses in here. I don't think that needs to be glued. And then run just like that. And the battery on my cameras will running out, so we've got to stop here. Okay, so while the camera was charging back up again, I finished up the Southern Pacific here. It was, you didn't miss out on much. It was exactly the same as the other one. Yeah, I'm really happy with the way these turned out. They need metal wheels. I will probably put lights in them eventually also, but for that I need the metal wheels, which I'm out of. And they'll probably get weathered a little bit too, especially the top of this one being black like that. That's unrealistic. Well, congratulations on making it this far in the video. For being such a loyal viewer, you get bonus content, and that is another kit to build. This time we have a Santa Fe hopper car. So this has already been opened. I don't know if everything's going to be here. Hopefully, well, we'll see what we get. We've got the shell. Looks to be in good condition. Some trucks. They look okay. 2 metal weights. The frame. Directions. One, 2, 3 screws, 2 coupler clips that are all rusty, and 4 of these guys. So as before, I'm going to clean these up a little bit. Okay, so the rust situation on these has gotten a little better. I'm concerned there's only 3 screws and not 4. I may have to find another screw somewhere. So get each of the coupler pockets with a little bit of graphite, not too much to make a mess. Okay, so that looks good. Now, Let's see here. Okay, so I did clean quite a bit of flashing off all these plastic parts. That's pretty typical with injection molded stuff like this. It's just left over from the mold. That's what fingernails are for. So this goes on like this, and then these little door deals here, I think they need to go on first. Yeah. Whoa, that was a job to get that figured out. Okay. Let me zoom in as much as I can so you can see exactly how that has to be. And then... and I forgot the weights. The weights have to go on first, like that. Then this goes on top. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.